Hello everyone and welcome to the Kentucky Speedway for your Wednesday night Horizon IndyCar Series action. As always, your host Mark Murphy, and I'm joined by that beautiful wreck, Ryan Eric King. And Ryan, we're in for a lot of fun. This track is near and dear to my heart. You have not been here. I have been here several times. But tell us what Matt Wagner, the series director, told us right before we jumped in to go live.
That he was gonna channel his inner Craig Forsyth tonight.
Yes, he was going to channel his inner Craig Forsyth. But the other thing that Matt said is that this is going to get packy, and so do want to pop it up. There's no sense hiding it. We're going to show the weather. It is nice and chilly. 67 degrees in the air, 71 on the track. And Kentucky being that famous and classically 1.5 mile high banked oval, yes, we are at the new version. Yes, the ends are different. But when temps get this cold, Ryan, it's going to be awfully difficult for these drivers to get off on one another.
Yeah, it is going to be a race where if you want track position, you can get it. Keeping it is going to be another story.
It is, and it's all going to boil down to that turn right there, turn number 3, and what's on the other side of it, turn number 4. Here at Kentucky, the ends are oblong, just like they are at Texas. Turn number 3 at Kentucky, turn number 4, they are wider and flatter than turns number 1 and 2. And so while it may be packy, there is still going to have to be some tire management that happens here, because if you don't manage the tires, you can find yourself in trouble in a big hurry down at the flat end of the speedway. Speaking of speedway, qualifying is underway here at Kentucky for the Horizon IndyCar Series competitors. And right now, Josh Ward is currently your provisional pole sitter. He's up there at better than 216 miles an hour. Kind of waiting and seeing who's going to go out. Let's get a look at some of our competitors. Here's Alex Miller. We'll get the telemetry up for you to kind of show you what these drivers are looking at. Get on the roll bar and give you a sense. There's Alex Miller, 5th gear. He's not coming out of the power hardly at all, going through 3 and 4. It's a night race. Car is nice and stuck. Down to the apron. He'll complete his run. Alex Miller. Little bit of action going across the line, Ryan Eric King, but he went straight for the pole.
Yep.
Here's a guy that we're going to see a lot of tonight. That's Craig Forsyth, the 40 Racewear Forsyth Gaming Special. He's going to roll it down the backstretch. Now watch Craig. He's going to come high through 3 and 4, Ryan, and he's going to do that to build up a big run down this front straight. There's Craig through 1 and 2, all the way down on the bottom. No variation. He's going to flip out. He's going to float out just a little bit so he can get an angle going into turn 3, and then right down on the bottom. You notice he didn't touch that patched area at all with the tires. That is a big deal. That can be kind of slick. Forsyth comes across the line, and he is going to go to 3rd fastest. Let's see. We got one more that we'll show you here. This is Matt Wagner. And he is being a twin to Craig Forsyth this evening, Mr. Ryan Eric King. How about that? We've got 2 Craig Forsyths.
You see something new every race.
You know, it's kind of fun. Matt Wagner does that too, and we've run out of time. Matty Wags goes to 10th quick, and we are set and ready to go, Ryan, with what I can only describe as a really, really fun-filled field. We've got some great competitors in this one, my man. And speaking of great competitors, on the pole, Alex Miller. He checks in with a lap at 216.549. Josh Ward is going to beat his outside. He'll roll off 2nd. Craig Forsyth and Yari Brubaker, the veteran, they'll be in row 2. Frank Wynn, Eric Peterson, 5th and 6th. Ahmet Ohm and Nick Wheeler qualify 7th and 8th. Rick Sanchez and Matt Wagner, good buddies. They'll roll off 9th and 10th. In 11th, Lith Fox. 12th, Brian Greenlee. Nate Fields is going to be 13th. Sam Cosner will round out row 7. Kyle Clinworth in a surprising qualifying run. He'll start 15th. Gary Lovern 16th. Will Stearns 17th. Jeff Heisong 18th. Charles Hosea 19th. And Matthias Marcamini is going to round out your top 20. In 21st, Hugo Galez. Walter Macias is going to go 22nd. Mason Mitchum 23rd. Joseph Morales is going to start 24th. Shane Coker is race control. He is not going to be scored. Andrew Surwack also did not take time for this one. So the cars, remember, of Morales and Surwack did not take time. And Ryan, you think that's a bit of self-preservation here? Just hang out back and avoid what is sure to be an interesting opening few laps here?
Yeah, you kind of want to try to stay out of danger during the opening laps. Try to stay clear of a potential multi-car accident, because it's bound to happen tonight. There's no way this race stays completely green the entire way through like last week.
Yeah, and so that was something that we were kind of talking about earlier, look, this is going to be, Matty Wags came in and said it, this is going to be a pack race. We're going to see guys very much on top of each other. We're going to see cars that aren't really able to get away, and we're going to see cars that it's very difficult. You can get track position if you want it, but you're not going to pull away here, not tonight. And so it's going to be important for these guys to be patient. Now you see Charles Hosea had a little impatient in the American Legion car. Going all the way back, there's the familiar cool colors of Walter Macias. And Andrew Surwack in the Gatorade machine. He is all the way at the back. We get ready, Ryan, for 135 laps here at Kentucky.
All right, man. Light you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
As you hear there, they're going to give the drivers an extra lap to form up. And Ryan, did you get a chance to have a look at fuel tires? What sort of regulations are we looking at tonight, my man?
Well, as in the prior rounds this season, we have unlimited tires tonight. Could become useful near the end of this race. Though fuel usage, we're sitting at an 80% limit. So the stints are going to be a bit shorter than I'm used to around here.
Yeah, so usually you can run on a full tank. You can usually run about 50 laps, give or take, between 48 and 52. So an 80% take would put you right somewhere between 40 to 45. If you're Craig Forsyth, 73 laps, given his penchant for saving fuel. Do want to shout out everybody that's in the chat. We've got Paula Scory in here, Craig Segerman, Ashton Cosner. Kyle Clinworth has the fan chat absolutely stacked. If you're out there, do hit us up in the chat. We will respond to you here during this 135 lapper at Kentucky. 1.5 miles makes it roughly a 200 miler, a little bit shorter than that.
Yeah, a little under 200 miles tonight.
And so if we get a race that's clean, Ryan, we could see a pretty quick one, couldn't we?
Yeah, I think roughly gaming it out, if say the average lap time is about 25 or so seconds, we get this done in like an hour, which seems absurd.
We could, but we also, given the nature of the racing that we're expecting to see tonight, we could also have quite a few cautions, and that could be of the benefit or the detriment to veterans that are stuck in the back, like Clinworth, Will Stearns, Jeff Heisong, Mason Mitchum, Joseph Morales, Andrew Surwack. Those are all rapid guys. They're going to have to come from deep in the field. No matter that now, the Barney has the green flag in hand. Racing is on. We are underway here in the Horizon IndyCar Series at Kentucky Speedway.
lap. Everything looking clean so far as we start the second lap.
Everybody kind of minding their P's and Q's here. You thought that they might kind of do that. We're going to get the scoring pylon up for you. We're riding along, looking at Alex Miller. He jumped off to the early lead. He's got Josh Ward behind him. Wardy wants it. And if you look back in the pack, and we're just going to put you on the gearbox, you see the snarling crowd. They are all over the place here at Kentucky early. We're going to take a look back here. That's Lith Fox and Rick Sanchez. Sanchez, he's on the inside. He's got Lith Fox to the outside, and they've got Matty Wagner right behind him. That is a battle for 9th and 10th. And the herd, the pack, however you want to say it, it's not up front that's real. I mean, I'm not saying the front isn't contested, but this is where the action is right here. This is, if this ain't a mess, Ryan, it'll do till the mess gets here.
Yeah, and like, it might look pretty tame, relatively spread out, but you have to remember, we're going at a quick click here. We're going 215 miles an hour.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump on board the roll bar with Kyle Clinworth, and we'll show you exactly what this looks like. Down the front straight, two distinct lines, high line, low line. That, I believe, is going to be one of his teammates. We've got a car slow on the bottom. That's Nate Fields. Caution is going to be on the speedway. Hard in the wall for Fields in the Indy 1 machine. And once again, caution is out. We're going to take a look and see exactly what's happened to poor Nate Fields. He was running along right in front. You were on the roll hoop of the number 11 right there. Strangely enough, though, we weren't able to see it. So here's Fields. He's going to cross the line. Ryan, you see anything untowed, anything like that? Sanchez is going to come down, and I bet they're going to just bang wheels right there, and off he goes.
Yep, a hip check into the inside wall. Just two cars heading to the same piece of pavement at the same time.
Yeah, that'll get you every time. The good news is that it doesn't look like the damage for Nate Fields is all that bad. He's got a broken front wing, and he's also steering a tricycle. So it's going to be worse than I thought. Originally, I looked at that and thought, oh, he looks like he's okay. He's just got to have a new nose cone. Sometimes that happens, but it got the left front pretty bad too. But he's going to come around, try to get it to the pit lane and see if he can affect whatever repair is possible. Meanwhile, we do have cars on the pit lane already, and given that we're on lap 7, you know what that means, Ryan? Guys are already thinking about fuel.
Yeah, it's like we're stopping early. If a bunch of people stop now, they could. It feels weird to say lengthen this first stint, but in a way, it's in a pack race like this, you're going to see people pitting in groups, and if you pit now, you could stretch your run out to try to avoid the crowd of cars going for the pit entry on the entry of turn 3.
Very much so. And there you see the magic of iRacing. Nate Fields comes in. He affects the fast repair, and he'll come back out. We're going to focus in on 15th place Eric Peterson. Peterson, Wagner, Sanchez, Clinworth, Hysong, Sturlwack, Gallas, Macias, and Mitchum, they have all stopped, along with the one that you saw, which was Nate Fields, have all stopped as of lap 7. And that's going to be important because we think, Ryan, about 40 laps full chat would be about right. That's usually what you can do in a fixed race with a full tank here. But I tell you what, 135 minus what's probably going to be 8 or 9, you'd be doing 42, 43 laps a stint. That is very possible on an 80% fuel tank if you're back in the draft and running fuel 3, fuel 4, and not running fuel 3, fuel 4, mapping, as we say. That's going to be pretty easily achievable. The guys at the front, they're going to be in trouble. They may have to, if this thing gets green and goes green for a long time, they may be in trouble here for the long term. And yeah, we are hearing from Rick Ravon. It looks dark out there. I do not. One of the things that I do not have is the time of day. We know the lights are on because we can see the reflection in the race cars, but I do not have the time of day. Ryan, is it at night here, or is it like a duskish type deal?
Let's see. So yeah, sim
Lights are
time
on.
has this. Yeah, sim time has us roughly at 8:36 local time.
There you go. So the lights are on. We have confirmed it. This track is one that in life is kind of dark. It sits in kind of a natural depression, if you will. If you ever drive by it, you can see it from the interstate. Alex Miller is going to hit the loud button and get us going one more time. But it sits in kind of a natural depression between some hills. You've got the interstate on one side. We've got cars in the fence in the back, and we're gonna have caution on the speedway here pretty quickly. You're looking at Charles Hosea has come to grief. Andrew Serwak, Matthias Marcamini also may be involved. And let's see what's happened here. And I can tell you right now, Ryan Eric King, apron is definitely bad.
Yeah,
We've almost got
definitely bad, and
we've almost got 2 incidents there, by the way.
yeah, almost got 2 incidents because we had Jeff Highsong basically lose control of his car trying to avoid the accident.
You know, I don't know that he lost control of the car trying to avoid it. I think he's going through there. He's on cold tires, and he hasn't accounted for the extra looseness or the car being extra free on cold tires. There you see Hosea. He's going to get loose on the bottom, just come back up, and really he's going to miss Sanchez by a hair and collect Serwak, but then Highsong just kind of spins it harmlessly down on the apron. He's going to get it back going straight. So those were 2 completely separate incidents. Highsong's probably going to be okay. He's going to come to pit road, obviously, put on a fresh set of boots. But everybody else, they're going to come in and try to effect the fast repair. Serwak did have to tow. Marcamini is already 4 laps down. Highsong has been in for service. He is out. Cars also pitting under this yellow: Hugo Galez, Sam Cosner, Joseph Morales, Nick Wheeler, and Brian Greenlee. They have all come into the pit lane, and there's Wheels in the VRL machine. He is currently going to be scored 18th. So the fuel games continue to get played here, Ryan.
Yeah, everyone trying to find a way to eke out an advantage through an alternate strategy.
Well, and what's funny is, normally we would see this man right here, Craig Forsyth, be the first to take advantage of an early yellow or 2, maybe to come in and top off the tanks. Oddly enough, the guy that we would expect to be playing the fuel game is not. He's still out on the speedway.
I mean, if most of the field moves to an alternate strategy, if you just stay on the predicted, stint length, it's just going to be you coming in, and that might become an alternate strategy in itself.
Well, I was going to say, right now, everybody from Alex Miller down to Gary Loverton in 9th, they are on what they started the race with. Beginning with 10th place, Eric Peterson, they all stopped under the prior yellow. So let's be fair, they've run under green for about 300 or 400 yards. Once we get to Brian Greenlee in 17th, everybody from him on back to Hugo Galez in 23rd, those guys have all just stopped and topped their tanks up under this yellow. And so I would kind of consider those 2 strategies to be just about equal. Given the fuel burn here, there's probably not much more in 1 lap in green flag running between them. But we're going to have to take a look. It's if we get some green flag running here, Ryan, it's definitely going to be one of those situations where just the timing of a caution could decide this race.
Yeah, the timing of a caution where I don't want to say it'll be a dice roll, but sometimes it's down to that, just being in right place at the right time.
It most certainly is. Do want to thank everybody in the audience as we get ready to head back to green. We are coming to lap number 13, working 12-2-13 here at the Kentucky round of the Horizon IndyCar Series. Alex Miller is your leader. He's going to get back in the gas one more time. And we'll see. Is everybody going to make it through turns 1 and 2? Ryan, I don't see any smoke. That's a good sign. You better start knocking on some wood, brother.
Yeah. Oh, mid so far. 1 lap down. A whole bunch more to go.
Yeah, 122 of them to go, to be exact. Alex Miller is going to be your leader. He's going to be followed by Josh Ward, Craig Forsyth, Jari Brubaker as they go. Brubaker is going to try to make some hay on the high side. He's going to take it upstairs and try to go around Craig Forsyth. He's got the draft from Josh Ward in front of him. Jari Brubaker with a power move. He's going to go to third. And let's follow Jari, because I have a feeling that man right there in the number 89 entry, he's going to try to make some noise here early. I think he's feeling a fast hot rod, Ryan, and why not? All the way up against the wall.
His own challenge for the lead.
Yeah, Josh Ward went up high. That cut the air off to Jari Brubaker. Brubaker forced the lift out of the power, but now he and Forsyth close right back up on this leading duo.
Yeah, slowly we at the restart, we were all generally single file. The line just piling up to Alex Miller out front, and now we're starting to fan out into a pack.
Yeah, we're starting to see these guys get sucked up right on top of each other. This looks a lot more, Ryan, like the race that we saw last night in Michigan than it does with a race at Kentucky. These cars all over one another. Look off the rear bumper of Josh Ward, and that's what you see from the gearbox of the 92. He runs second.
Seemingly everyone further back. They're choosing their lines not for speed but for clean air, just to have the downforce, to try to stay full throttle around the corners.
Yeah, you do indeed. We're gonna go jump back and let's take a look at Kyle Clinworth. Clindy has made it to 12th. He is in a hornet's nest. He is going around Matty Wagner there for 11th. But here's what Wagner. Here's what Clindy is going to be faced with. I dropped my mic, Ryan.
That is unfortunate. Alex Miller.
There we go. Okay, we found it. What I was trying to do when I unceremoniously dropped my tools of the trade here is I was going to go on board with Kyle Clinworth and show you exactly what it looks like from 9th or 10th or 11th, wherever his transponder crosses the marker there in whatever position. But that's what it looks like. The two cars at the head of this thing, those are the leaders. Now, what I'm going to expect here, Ryan, is that we're going to see a pack race like this for about 25 laps or so. As the tires wear, I think they're going to start getting spread out. Because the way that, just one, the track here is extremely abrasive, just by the nature of the local soil. Whoa, awful close with Peterson there. The track here is very abrasive. The other bit is that just by its very nature, the loads on the tires in turns 3 and 4 here are going to destroy them. So I think you're going to see tire wear and these cars get spread out a little bit, but I think it's going to take another, with the cautions, it's going to take another 10 laps or so.
Yeah, because generally in these races, I don't normally say it, but I just try to keep the tires under me until someone else has an accident, because that's normally how it goes. Someone else try to wait for someone else to have the accident, pit under yellow for fresh tires, and then re-rack them and stack them.
I don't think waiting for somebody else to have an accident is a bad strategy here. My goodness, we've got the top 7. Throw them under a blanket, fans. They're all right there. Caution is out. I think Ahmet Ohm has found the concrete. There's the 26 machine, and Ahmet Ohm has certainly gone for a ride, running along, and Ahmet is up to, appears to be 4th or 5th, however you want to score it there.
Yeah, because Ahmet just lost it on the turn 4 exit and just spun out on his own. Thankfully, he's perfectly fine besides the worn tires.
Yeah, just spins it down to the inside here. Gotta wonder that well, he's gonna avoid, Ahmet's gonna avoid the pit lane entry, so that's good for Ahmet Ohm. No penalty. Sometimes if you slide through there wrong, even if you just touch that cone there, you'll get a 40-second hold for illegal pit entry. So lucky for Ahmet Ohm, he's gonna avoid that. But caution is on the speedway, and that was kind of what I was wanting to allude to as Ohm comes to pit lane, along with more or less everybody else. But that was the thing that I was gonna kind of allude to. Watch the race off pit road here. Was you're either gonna fry the right front or the right rear here, and you have to make a choice, Ryan. And that accident, if we got that accident down to if we got that accident down to brass tacks, and we got the telemetry off of Ahmet Ohm's car, I would bet you a shiny new dime that he had a little bit too much weight jacker and a little bit too much rear bar in that machine.
Yeah, to just, once the wear starts to set in, you start getting less grip. You kind of want to force the car to keep taking the same lines, and eventually you're going to overfill that bucket and it's going to spill over.
Yeah, and the thing with the right rear, the thing with that right rear, the more weight jacker you pump into that sucker, the hotter you get it. The same with the rear bar. So it's going to make it feel a lot better. It's going to make it turn a lot better. But there's a price to that, and the price is you're heating up the tires. And once they reach a certain point, they no longer grip. And Ryan, as you know, once they reach the boiling point and there's no grip, it's like you're driving on ice.
Yeah.
Now, we've got some questions about whether our man Kyle Clinworth came to pit road. Clindy did stop in the pits. Everybody except for Wagner, Greenleaf, Wheeler, and Galez did stop under that last yellow. So there's Clindy. He runs along in 7th. Clindy got gas only. He was in his box 4.7 seconds. No tires on the number 11 machine, and so that's the reason for his increase in track position. Clindy gas only on that stop. Everybody else, as far as I can tell, took tires. Your leader is going to be Matt Wagner, and yes, that is Matty Wags. That is not Craig Forsyth. We should just call him not Craig Forsyth for the rest of this one. Speaking of Craig Forsyth, if you want to check out a veteran who's got a really high quality stream, go check out Forsyth Gaming on YouTube. You can see this from Craig's point of view. He's always got some interesting takes on his thoughts as to what's going on in the race, his strategy, and watch as he leans into
Green flag.
into his craft around the Kentucky Speedway tonight. That's Forsyth Gaming here on YouTube. The race that we're watching goes back to green, and Matt Wagner gets into the loud pedal, and that front 4 stretched a nice gap over Alex Miller, Josh Ward, and Kyle Clinworth. Ryan.
Yeah, massive jump. That's the benefit to staying out and just jumping the entire field, is that hopefully you could just launch off the restart and pull a big gap early.
You know, you can. Brian Greenlee, he's going to go to the lead. He's one of Matty Wagner's really good friends, and I know they're in Discord together down there below us. Greenlee's going to drop to the bottom. He's going to make a bid for the top spot. Wagner going to fight back on the outside. Matty Wags, not Craig Forsyth, to the outside. Not Craig Forsyth is hanging tough, but eventually that bottom line is going to prevail down there, Ryan. Also, what they're doing by racing side by side, they're going to let Nick Wheeler and Hugo Galez join the fight.
And more worryingly, it's going to slow them down a bit, so the cars who did stop for fresh tires can still hang on to the toe.
Yeah, we're talking about a difference of we're talking about a couple of tenths of a lap that costs you when you're running side by side like that. Speaking of cost, and speaking of not costing our viewers anything, one of the things that you can do to help support these drivers in the Horizon IndyCar Series and all of the IndyCar community is make sure you smash the like button on that video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We know about half of you don't do that, but if you ring the bell to subscribe, that's a huge thing. We are currently in a push, Ryan, for 1,000 subscribers. We're getting awful close, but we need everybody's help out there. So do us a solid, ring the bell to subscribe to the channel, be notified of all of the iRacing IndyCar action worth watching. And as a bonus, if you are subscriber 900, this man right here, Kyle Clinworth, he'll break out the rattle can and put your name on his car. I think that's...
Hopefully that car makes it to the finish. And
He is, we'll jump back on board, Clindy. He is, I think, the only guy in the iRacing IndyCar community with more, that has more special paint jobs than I've got. Now, the difference, Ryan, between my special paint jobs and his is that I have a painter for a sponsor. Clindy actually does them himself. Do you know that?
no, I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's not like me where I call up my buddies at Blackmagic Studios and I say, guys, you know, I'm running in a special event. Can you paint me something cool? And they'll do it, right? And I don't have to do anything. Clindy does all the work himself, and that's a bad-looking hot rod. I got to like it. Of course, he's going to take it 3 wide and try to bend it for me. But that's a good-looking hot rod. All of those road cars are. Even our buddy Collins, who doesn't have any decals on his machine whatsoever. I think they got him to put a Votive Racing League logo on it, and I think Clindy turned his spec map into chrome so that our boy Jacob's car glows in the dark. But other than that, it's still the plain white wrapper. All the other road cars, though, they're really cool looking machines. And Clindy's showing his prowess, not just as a painter, but as a driver. He's got that car up to 5th, and he's looking for more. He's going to go past Nick Wheeler. And next up on the hit parade is going to be Brian Greenlee.
Yeah, we're starting to return the normal service as the rest of the field catches the leaders.
Yeah, you knew that they couldn't hang on up there for long. Matt Wagner on the old tires, he's already dropped back to 9th after he led for a little bit. Alex Miller has retaken the lead. Josh Ward is back to 2nd. Greenlee is hanging on to 3rd, but you're seeing it now. As soon as they get into any kind of dirty air on those old tires, they can't keep up the speed in 3 and 4. Kyle Clinworth, he's going to eat up Hugo Galez here within the next lap or two, and that'll put Clindy right up next to the front row as we get down to looking at lap 40 of 135 here in the Horizon IndyCar Series at Kentucky. Clindy all the way up on the high side. Galez leaves it down low. Clindy, he got so high he avoided the dirty air from Josh Ward there. Keeps on trucking. Can we ask a question? Is there anybody in the chat that is not affiliated with Kyle Clinworth? That might be an easier time here. I think he's got the entire Rogue team. Rick Ravon's in there. He's got Paula, Ryan O'Donoghue from the AMA series has joined us. Of course, that series is going to be upcoming here on the P1 Broadcasting Network, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. We've got a heck of an audience here, and we're watching Craig Forsyth and Kyle Clinworth do battle for 4th and 5th. They've got Hugo Gallas in the front. Clindy uses Gallas as an arrow pick. He'll drive not only past Forsyth, but right around Hugo. What a move. That was...
Oh, I swear, I have my eyes up and down this field because... Oh, there's so many cars so close to each other.
Well, you got to put it on. You got to put it on the lead. Kyle Clinworth drills the high side. He's going to go right to the top and try to take it to Josh Ward. And you were right earlier. We've resumed normal service. Well, this is kind of normal service, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the pack race we were promised.
And there's the pack. You see it come off at turn number 4. Throw a blanket over the top 20. That's pretty much where it is. Now, here's the issue for Clinworth. He's going to get up there, and I've faced this here many a times racing with the likes of Adriano Pinheiro and Rob Malechka and those guys. You can get to 3rd fairly easily, Ryan. Once you get to 3rd, it becomes very difficult. Clindy does make it around Josh Ward. It becomes very difficult to make it around somebody who's determined to hold the bottom. We've got another caution, and it is Omed Ohm again. Ohm is crashed this time hard to the bottom of turn number 1. Caution on the Speedway, 45 laps into 135 here at the Kentucky Speedway.
Yeah, it seemed that Ohm lost it on the transition on the front stretch.
Yeah, it just goes down to the apron and try to get a little bit of extra speed. And if you don't hit that just right, it's still an apron and it is still bad. And it shoots him right in the wall. He's going to collect Nate Fields. Give Nate Fields 2.5 rotations. That's worth a 6.9 from the East German judge at least. Poor Nate Fields had nowhere to go, and he'll slide to grief there, already having used his fast repair. So that's going to be night done. Let's go have a look from the roll bar of Nate Fields. And it always amazes me, Ryan. We're at 1/4 speed, and it's still hard to see how he would avoid it.
Yeah, because Alm just slides right in front of him. There's no way he could have seen it coming.
1.5. 1.5 with a twist, we'll call it. And poor Nate Fields sliding. Of course, the camera gets blacked out on the roll hoop, and so there he is, and the wall will finish him off. It was a nice combo. If we're figure skating, we do not like to see that in Indy cars. Nate Fields is going to be out of this race. We do have some pit stops here, Ryan. We do have some.
Because we were effectively in the middle of that stint for most of the field. So there was a case to stay in or stay out or come in.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody has come in except for Alex Miller, the leader. And so if you are Alex Miller, you've been out 21 laps. Everybody else in this field has got fresh tires. Now, here's the other issue for Kyle Clinworth. He's got the lap machine of Charles Hosea in between him and the leader. And Charles did not pit. He was hoping to get one of his laps back. Andrew Miller does not pit. And so Charles Hosea is in a situation where he's going to be between Kyle Clinworth, the leader, and Kyle Clinworth's second place and Alex Miller leader. We do apologize. There are some technical difficulties happening. I believe my internet has decided. There it comes. Whew. Okay. We're having some technical difficulties here in House Murphy, so I appreciate everybody's patience. There we go. We do have the feedback. Thank you so much, everybody, for your patience. We do have the internet back. As I've said several times, there were some bad storms that went through my area, Ryan, a few weeks ago, and it's almost like there was a connection somewhere between my house and the servers that got messed up, because I've taken my internet capacity is about a quarter of what it was about 3 months ago. So I appreciate everybody's patience. We are working back toward a restart. We're looking at Charles Hosea. He is between that man, your leader, Alex Miller, and this guy, Kyle Clinworth, who runs second. We're going to get ready, though, to get back to live racing action. Ryan, you there? You hear me?
Yep, I hear you. iRacing had crashed for me, so I'm getting it reloaded.
So it may not have been me. It may have been, I was blaming the internet at my house. It's possible it could have been a server hiccup, given what you just described. Ryan Eric King and I are in two very disparate places, by the way. I am in Indiana. Ryan is not in Indiana. He is about as far from Indiana as one could get. Josh Ward and Kyle Clinworth work around the lap machine of Charles Hosea. We now have 50 laps complete. Alex Miller, your leader. Kyle Clinworth, second. This man, Josh Ward, runs along in third. Craig Forsyth in the 4D machine. He's going to be fourth. Hugo Gallas, he's going to be fifth. And as we understand it, we are experiencing a little bit of a soft server here. It did drop completely out for Ryan Eric King, so we do apologize for the blinks. We do need to give a shout out to our man Gary Godso. He and Stephen Larkamp are over on the second stream. They're doing the Formula Indy Series race tonight, Ryan, and that's from a place that Clindy and I covered Clindy and I covered that one on Monday night. They're at VIR, the Virginia International Raceway. Now, you want to talk about interesting. That place was a fun little road course, Ryan.
Yeah, like it is a very narrow road course. When most professional series go there, it's typically IMSA, and it's only the GT cars. They don't bring the prototypes there.
No, and it was a lot of fun for IndyCar, so you could see why they wouldn't run, high speed single seaters or even prototype IMSA cars there. Clindy now, he's starting to sniff Alex Miller for the lead. Josh Ward third, Forsyth fourth, and creeping into the picture, we haven't talked much about Lith. Lith Fox has moved up to fifth, and so keep an eye on that machine. Lith Fox looking to make some noise here. Forsyth's going to get under Josh Ward. Craig Forsyth put Forsyth to third. Fox thought about it, but thinks better of it. Forsyth all the way to the bottom. Craig Forsyth, he's going to look to draw a bead on Kyle Clinworth. Caution is out. That's Eric Peterson spinning toward the inside of pit road. Caution is on the speedway. And poor Peterson, he's still crashing it down pit road. And let's see what's happened to Eric. So here's Peterson. He's going to put it. Go ahead, Ryan.
Seems like he made contact with another driver, and yes, he did. Met Ohm once again.
Yeah, and that was kind of just, again, two cars going for the same real estate. Eric Peterson gets contact. He saved that car for a good 200 yards until it finally broke loose. That contact happened on entry. He didn't finally actually lose it until exit. He's going to spin it down toward pit road. He's still driving that baby. He's still trying to save it, Ryan. Let's see. Is he going to save it? I think it's going to get it to the grass. but now it's working back the other way, and I believe this is just going to shoot him into the fence here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, when you hit this bump when you hit the Legends track right there, that's actually the grass is actually underneath the track for drainage purposes in terms of elevation. And so there's a hump there, and when you hit it, it lifts you up, and when Eric came down, it just shot him back toward the inside wall. Unfortunate turn of events there for Eric Peterson. At least he doesn't have very far to tow, Ryan.
Yeah, that's like silver linings, I guess. Silver linings.
Always try to find the good in the situation, but Eric has punched out of the number 36. He will be listed as a did not finish, along with Nate Fields and Matthias Marcamini. Omet Ohm and Charles Hosea are still circulating out there, although many laps down. The top 20 with Mason Mitchum being 20th, and you see Mason there in the back. Mason Mitchum is the last car on the lead lap. Do want to thank everybody in the audience. Ryan O'Donohue pipes in and says VIR is a great track. I was just about to say, it was interesting to see these cars there. It's something that everybody should check out. It was a ton of fun to call it. The straightaways there are amazing. If you want, the straightaways there are amazing. We will never see these cars go there in real life, Ryan. There's just no way. It's too narrow, and the barriers are way too close to the track.
And that's why we have iRacing.
And that's why we have iRacing. We can continue to go to places like that with Indy cars that would never happen in real life. We can come to tracks like this that are still serviceable in real life. They're still maintained. This one in particular, though, is just full of Ford pickup trucks. And so that's why it's not being used in any circuit at the moment. There's a massive Ford plant not too far away from here. And so this is basically an overflow lot currently, and Ford is paying Bruton Smith far more money than Smith can make staging 2 car races a year. And so they are with no private testing, and people forget, testing bans are meant to save, they're meant to save teams money, but they most certainly cost tracks money. And so with the testing bans in most major automobile racing series, the decision was made to use this as a storage lot for pickup trucks. Although I'm sure it can be reactivated at any time. We're looking at 57 coming to 58, 135. We're getting close to halfway here, Ryan.
Yep, close to halfway.
Green
As we
flag,
get the
green
restart
flag.
underway.
Yes, we do. And we're watching. This is a great seat. You can actually sit in the seat that this view is from if you come to a race at Kentucky Speedway. That's right on the edge of one of the towers, which is a fantastic seat. You can see the entire track from one of those vantage points. We're watching Kyle Clinworth lead Josh Ward, Lith Fox, Craig Forsyth, and Hugo Gallas from virtual Kentucky. Orbiter 277 says USF Juniors ran there a couple of years ago, and he thinks that all the US Formula Series, USF 2000, USF 2000 Pro, I'm assuming Formula Fords would be included in that, Formula 4, all of those series probably would race super well there. The big cars, though, just way too quick, and the track far too narrow. But it was interesting to see the runs that those guys were getting down those long straightaways, because it's got 2 really long ones, and then the moves that they would make to make passes, the moves that you can move to make passes. Ooh, Craig Forsyth, Hugo Galaz, very close. Rick Raybon says you can trust Craig Forsyth. Yes, you can. He's noted to be a guy that you can race extremely close with. And so, Ryan, I don't know if you've had that experience or not, but there are guys in this pack, and that's a huge thing. And Rick raises a good point here. That's a huge thing in this pack is trust, is it not?
Yeah, because it's trust. It is knowing how reliable someone's internet connection is, to know that you could hang right beside them wheel to wheel.
or how reliable the human is between the steering wheel and the seat. That's usually my problem. It's not the internet connection. It's the guy between the steering wheel and the seat that gets me. We're 3 wide for third. That's Greenlee on the top, Clindy on the bottom. Lith Fox is going to shoot the middle. Fox is going to go from 5th to 2nd. Fox is going to chase down Hugo Gallows. Meanwhile, Brian Greenlee, poor Greenlee right there, he went from 2nd to 7th in less than a lap.
Yeah, like I said at the start, you could definitely get track position if you want it, but keeping it is another story.
You know you can. And something else I'd like to point out, you see cars Clinworth, Craig Forsyth, and so forth, as they go down the front stretch, and watch him make a liar out of me and not do it this time. But those cars are going to you'll watch right here, they dip the lefts below the yellow line. That's because the apron on the front stretch kind of juts out a little bit, Ryan. And so cars are allowed to cut that. You do not get loose when you go through that part of the apron, just simply because the apron and the track right at that moment are level. There's no difference in the banking right there. The reason that Omet Omir had his problem was that he went to the apron down by the start-finish line, and it is not the same there. If you hit it there, it's apron bad. The other thing is, Ryan, we're approaching halfway here, my man.
Yep,
one more lap.
Approaching halfway.
Yeah, one more lap, and we're going to get to turn the counter to the other side, buddy.
And you start thinking about how you make the fuel strategy work to get to the end, and not only having fuel to get to the end, but making sure you finish on a decent set of tires.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge thing as well. And there it is, 68 to go. We have crossed the halfway threshold. 68 to go here at the Kentucky Speedway. Hugo Gallows leads it. Lith Fox is second. There is, I don't want to call it, Kyle Clinworth through Alex Miller in 10th, our third. How's that? We'll just say Clinworth through Miller, our 10th. There they go. That is a snarl of cars. But they're all doing a great job, Ryan, of getting away with it. They're not leaning on each other. They're not doing what we saw last night at Michigan where they're forcing it. They're giving each other plenty of room. And as long as you do that, you can race these cars like this. You only get really into trouble when you start leaning on guys, trying to pull side drafts, trying to aero block people. They're going to get 4 wide here. Frank Wynn on Will Stearns. Fox on the bottom. Brubaker at the top.
Oh, they get through it just fine? Because the thing is, you need to leave a bit of room. You need to allow people to react to the action around them. If you're right up against their side pod, if one mistake happens, then both of you are gone and probably a bunch of cars behind you.
Yeah, and there's give and take there too. Will Stearns saw that move coming. He knew he was the car on the outside, and he knew 4 wide wasn't going to work. The old man, as he calls himself, he came out of the power, and he was rewarded. The other cars got down into turn 3. Didn't quite make it. Brubaker and Will Stearns bang wheels. Stearns is going to graze the wall. I don't think that's going to hurt him, though. That wasn't that hard of a hit. He'll just knock the lettering off the Firestones and keep on trucking.
Ooh, luckily got away with that one.
I mean, it may hurt him a little bit, but it's not going to be terminal damage. It's enough that he should be able to keep up in the draft, and I would assume he'll affect whatever repair needs to happen via the fast repair in his pit stop. Speaking of pit stops, Lith Fox and Hugo Gallows, Kyle Clinworth, Forsyth, Greenlee, and Will Stearns among the top 10. Gary Lovren as well. they've been out for 27 laps. Now, there have been some caution flag laps in there. So, Ryan, we're going to need to see them on pit road here, probably somewhere between 35 and 40 laps to go would be my guess.
Yes, around then they'll come in. But if they do come in at the early portion with 40 to go, it's going to be a bit dicey for them at the end in terms of grip.
You know, it will be. And then there is the alternate strategy out here. You're looking at the leader of that strategy. That is Alex Miller. He is coming across, well, Frank Wynn also on that strategy. Those two cars, along with Andrew Surwack, Rick Sanchez, Jeff Heisong, Joseph Morales, Matt Wagner, Walter Macias, and Mason Mitchum, those cars all stopped 10 laps later, which means they can go 10 laps longer. And Ryan, real close between Lith Fox and Alex Miller. They get away with it. The TMR machine goes to second. Alex Miller is going to start hunting down Frank Wynn for the lead. But they can go 10 laps longer, so that's 10 laps that the majority of the field here is going to be in that danger zone, Ryan.
Yeah, and if that danger zone where you see it, especially at the super speedways like Auto Club in Michigan, where during those pit windows, incidents are more likely to happen with people trying to slow down to make pit road or get their tires up to temperature once they leave. And if you're going longer and a caution comes out, that's an easy pit stop.
You know it is. The good news, though, and you can kind of see it at the bottom of your screen there for the fans at home, Kentucky does have an access road, so pileups here getting onto pit road are not necessarily an issue, just because under green, most leagues will mandate that you use that access road. However, it's getting off of pit road that's the challenge here. Getting on, you're not going to see guys running over each other getting onto that access road. You're going to see guys going too fast and perhaps losing control and spinning up the track into traffic. You're also going to see Kentucky is a very difficult track to get up to speed because the apron is very slick. It is also very bumpy, and by now in the race, it is heavily, heavily marbled. We're 4 wide again, Ryan.
Ooh, and they make it.
They made it. I thought for a second Gallows was going to go from the frying pan to the fire. He was going to be the loser in that 4 wide battle, and he almost slipped into 3 wide with teammate Gary Lovern and Rick Sanchez. They've also got Sam Cosner and Andrew Surwack along for the ride over there. Rick Ravon says that Will has damage, and he's fallen all the way to the back to 19th. Will Stearns also is a lap down. Server bad. But Will Stearns has pulled it onto pit road, and so we'll show Grandpa here. He's pulled it onto pit road. He did affect the fast repair, but he's going to have an extra stop, and so he's going to need either a timely caution or any caution to get himself back on the lead lap. I like the move, though, Ryan. If you're going to be slow enough to lose the draft or the car's not driving right, come in and get the fast repair. Don't wait.
Yeah, just get service as quickly as possible. If you have an issue, you don't want to allow yourself to go a lap down, especially now.
Right, like at least this way you're a lap down. There's going to be a cycle where you may get that back. And the other bit is, if there is a caution, because the rules in the league, you can use the lucky dog and cycle back around. So it's not all lost for Will Stearns at this point. Plenty of opportunity to get back in the race. Although if I'm Will, and I've been in Will's shoes, where he's at is not a bad place to be, Ryan. One mistake in this pack is going to wipe out 15 cars.
Yeah, you'll gain all those positions by simply surviving.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him go 3-4 wide lap after lap. We're watching Brian Greenlee, Craig Forsyth. That's Gilles and Wynn behind them in a row, and then you've got Lovern and Sanchez behind that. The front two, which are Alex Miller and Lith Fox, they seem content to ride 1-2. And I think Lith Fox, having been out that extra 9 laps on fuel, is trying to save some. So maybe not interested, Lith Fox, in roaring all the way to the front right at the moment, maybe content to save some gas. Meanwhile, Brian Greenlee is not content. He wants to go to the front, and strangely, Craig Forsyth, he doesn't seem to be saving a drop of fuel there, Ryan. He wants to be at the front here.
Yeah, some people feel more comfortable out at the front of the field.
Yeah, they most
there is an air, well, a blanket of security that if a pileup happens, it's not gonna impact me unless I'm the one causing it.
Very true. There's the view from Craig Forsyth's right eyeball as he goes down into turn number 1, off of 2, down the back. He's following Clinworth. He's got Greenlee to his left front. He's got Frank Wynn behind him. Now Greenlee gets the dirty air. Forsyth going to move to the top side. He's going to see if he can't get past Greenlee here. There you see Greenlee's nose on the inside. They're going to be even Steven, but I think Craig is going to have the advantage going down the backside. I'm interested to see, now that they've been out for some time on the tires, if Forsyth is... He is not. So sometimes here at Kentucky, Ryan, as the tires get aged and the grip gets scarce down there on the other end, sometimes you'll see guys drop down to 4th gear. Apparently it's sufficient here that Craig Forsyth does not feel the need to do that. We'll check out Kyle Clinworth here. I don't think he's in enough dirty air to... Well, just as I say that, you see the 4 on the dash. Kyle Clinworth is shifting the number 11 machine, working the gearbox to keep up down there in 3 and 4.
Yeah, the idea is that in the lower gear, you get the diff working better, get the car to rotate better as a whole.
You also accelerate a little bit quicker. You're keeping the motor in the power band. The drawback is you burn more gas. Because you are in the power band, the revs are higher. You're burning more fuel to do that. But we're finally starting to see things space out just a little bit. The tires are starting to go off a little bit more and more as we head to the end of this run. And finally, this pack, although it's not broken up by any stretch of the imagination, as we see guys dive toward the inside, that's Greenlee and Gallas dive toward that pit exit. But as you look back, they're not nearly as on top of each other as they once were.
Yeah, they're starting to spread out. They realize that the tires are starting to fade. They have less grip. They're not as confident to be able to run near each other.
No, and some of this could be saving fuel too. Remember, the first item that you want to make sure of is, I want to be full rich for the last run. The second number that you want to look for is how much fuel can I cut out of my final stop. Yeah, the guys that are stopping right now, the Brian Greenlees and the Hugo Gallases, we've got one way down, and that's Lith Fox, and we're going to have to go back and watch the pit entry for Lith Fox. Holy Moses. Watch this, Ryan. Lith Fox goes straight through the grass.
Oh, I'm surprised it didn't end up being worse.
Somehow controls the automobile. Watch this business. We're going to get on board with Lith Fox, and I don't know if it's a late entry. I don't know if it's, Lith seems to be down on the inside, so I don't know. But Lith Fox all the way down on the bottom, and it looks like Lith just kind of misjudged where it was.
Oof.
Somehow, though, everything is A-OK. The 47, though, has been in their pit box for over 30 seconds. So that indicates to me either there's some kind of penalty or there's damage to the 47 machine. Meanwhile, other bidders on pit road, Forsyth, Lovern, Wheeler, Clinworth, those cars have all stopped. They made it 50 laps. So 50 laps was the bogey. That means that we're going to see Miller, Wynn, Hysong, Surawak, Sanchez, Wagner. We're going to see this crew come in probably somewhere, my guess, Ryan, would be somewhere around 30 to go. Would you think?
You're around 30 to go. I think mental, like 30 to go, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see them duck in on lap 100.
Yeah, and look, we're on lap 99 of 135 now. 37 laps to go here at Kentucky. And here comes Miller. Here comes Hysong. And we're going to see Surwack. He's going to stay out one more time. Andrew Surwack, he's got Sanchez and Wagner back there. Those are two smart guys, Sanchez and Wagner. You also have Joseph Morales. He's right behind them in the Chili Pepper. Trying to see if we can't zoom in on that car to see the logos.
Calls, he's coming in.
Yep, so now they're all coming. That's going to mean that this man right here, Matt Wagner, is going to go one more time around. Interesting to note that Will Stearns was about a tenth of a lap quicker than everybody when he stopped. Now, I say that because here's Will Stearns. He's riding along in this group with Forsyth and Clinworth. He's right behind them. Hysong coming off of pit road. This is currently 4 position for Will Stearns. He is on that same lap. Rick Sanchez is getting ready to come off of pit road, and we're still waiting. There he is. Matt Wagner is going to come to pit lane. He gets on the grass on the inside. We do thank you, Rick, for stopping by. Rick Ravon, of course, a competitor in the ISRA series on Monday nights. That series currently is in its spring break. It'll return here, I believe, April 7th, as we watch the stop from Matt Wagner. I don't want to tell anybody wrong, Ryan, but I believe it's April 7th that Mike Rigney's crew is going to be back, and that's going to be a fun one. That's April 7th at Auto Club. That's going to be at night. And so you'll get a twin bill on Monday. You'll get Clindy and I in the booth for the Indy Open, and then we'll hop the virtual jet and head for the ISRA Series race. And isn't that going to be a fun one? He's lengthened those races, Ryan, 130 laps. So basically half distance now. Full fuel tanks. That's going to be a blast, brother.
Yeah, especially Auto Club at night. You think this is a pack race. You haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, think about what you saw at Michigan last night in the Indy fixed race, and put that on steroids. This is now the lead group. Alex Miller, Craig Forsyth, Kyle Clinworth, Will Stearns, Josh Ward are your leaders. Matt Wagner has attached himself with Surwack, Hysong, and Frank Wynn to the back of it. So we're now down to 9 cars in this front group. Sam Cosner is 10th. Cosner, Morales, Gales, Wheeler, Macias, Mitchum. Those gentlemen are all about 4 to 5 seconds back. And then further beyond them, you've got Rick Sanchez, Brian Greenlee. Lith Fox is 1 lap down. I'm assuming there was some sort of a penalty involved there. 48.6 seconds leads me to believe that was a penalty, Ryan. Gary Lovern and Charles Hosea still circulating. But this is the battle for the lead here.
Yeah, if we have a podium finisher not from this group, something horrific happened.
Yeah, it's we started with 25. We've got 20 cars on the speedway. We've got 9 of them in the lead pack, and we've got about 7 or 8 more waiting in the wings should something befall this group. It is the battle for the lead in ISRA Series. Impresario Mike Rigney has joined the chat, and he has confirmed my feeble knowledge that the series opener for the ISRA is the 7th, and it's always awesome, and I love seeing it, Ryan. The support from the community. It's not just fans of Horizon that are tuning this in. It's IndyCar fans. It's Clindy fans. It's owners from other leagues. It's competitors from the stock car side. Ryan O'Donoghue, if you haven't seen the AMA Black Magic Grand National Series or the Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series that happens that happens every Thursday and Friday night on the P1 Broadcasting Network. Myself, Sam Crow, call those races. Those guys got a boatload of talent. They do it with fenders, folks. Tune that in if you've got some free time on a Thursday or Friday. We go live with a race start about 8:35. So there is a pre-race show with that one, but that's always a fun deal. Speaking of fun deal, you've got Craig Forsyth on the bottom. You've got not Craig Forsyth on the top. That is Craig Forsyth going to third, not Craig Forsyth. Will drop to fourth. And Ryan O'Donohue, you better take Mike Rigney up on that. He'll let you race one of these fighter jets on wheels. We're going to go 3 wide for the lead, Ryan.
Oh, it is that time of the race where when you see this many cars this close to the leader, you know we're nearing the end of a pack race.
You know, you do. At the same time, you know, you also know everybody in that pack. And this is what I kind of hang my hat on when I'm in these situations. Caution is out on the speedway. That's going to change everything. That is Mason Mitchum backward through the tri-oval or through the quad oval here. So caution is on the speedway. It appears as though he got together with Hugo Galez. And what's happened with Mason, that's going to be Sam Cosner to his middle. Galez on top. And it looks like Cosner's blinking a little bit.
Yeah, from my view, Mitchum just goes straight through him into the car on the outside.
Yeah, it's almost like the blinking from Cosner caused one of those freak situations where you have grip. Oh no, I have no grip. And that's manifested itself. Poor Mitchum goes up and collects Galez. It was like momentarily he had no grip. He goes up and collects Hugo Galez. Those two cars spin to the inside. Meanwhile, Will Stearns Will Stearns might be the luckiest guy in Kentucky. Watch the dash. He's coming to pit road because he needs fuel. Will Stearns, watch the dash. There's the line. He's across it. There's the wreck to his right. Will Stearns gets to come in and effect service under the yellow light. It's almost a free pit stop for Will Stearns. Well done, Will. Although it is showing him a lap down now, but well done, Will. Either way. Mason Mitchum is somehow currently was scored as the leader. That's going to revert back, Ryan. I was going to say, that doesn't make much sense, does it, Ryan? We're going to revert back. Alex Miller in the TMR machine is the leader. There were some pit stops that took place. Kyle Clinworth was the leader of the cars that pitted. And there you see it on the graphic. Clinworth, Ward, Frank Wynn, Nick Wheeler, Rick Sanchez, Hugo Galez, Liz Fox, Mason Mitchum. They all affected pit stops, as did Will Stearns, Gary Lovern, and Charles Hosea. So from 10th on back, they've got tires, Ryan. But back to that.
10th on back, they have tires.
Yeah, 10th on back, they have tires. Now, here's the thing I was talking about, community. You got side deals going on here in the chat. Ryan, Mike Rigney is offering you and Ryan O'Donohue both a seat in the ISRA series, even though entries are closed. He's looking for somebody that actually has talent to balance out me, who has none. But that's the beauty of the community. You see this happening. Ryan O'Donohue, never driven one of these cars. He's been watching our races. He's been racing Michigan this week, and that's a pretty handy guy in a stock car. So do love to see it. Do love to see new people joining the community and racing the car. Also, do love to see the huge audience that we have tonight, and it's been a loyal one. And so we do thank you. If you have not already done so, Make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell to subscribe to the channel. In our drive for 900, maybe that man right there, Kyle Clinworth, will put your name on his race car. I keep joking with Ryan in the P1 broadcasting group chat that what he ought to do is just break out the rattle can and spray paint the name on the side. What do you think of that, Ryan?
Ooh, I'm still on the fence about it.
Well, he can always do what I did to him. So for the fans who don't know the inside joke, his name is actually painted on the underside of the rear wing of my Indy Alliance machine, so that when he gets real close to it, he can look up and he can see it says "Hi, Clindy" with a smiley face.
Green, green, green.
Emily Walker checks in. She says, let's go, Andrew Surowac. Andrew Miller is going to get the party going. He leads them away on the start. Here's Surowac. He runs fourth. He is going to trace down Craig Forsyth.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Well, we've got caution.
Oh, immediately the caution comes out.
I don't see anybody falling through the field, and I don't see anybody slow, Ryan. You have...
I don't have an eye on the caution.
I don't either. Again, there's no car dropping through the standings. If we're able to find it, we absolutely will. I don't...
So, the only thing I can note, it was a manually thrown caution.
So there could have been a scoring error, maybe.
Drivers joking in the chat that it was debris.
You know, it is possible there could have been a scoring error. It could have been something on the start that, you know, I know we've been having some issues in some of the IndyCar leagues with people jumping restarts and laying back on restarts and so forth. And so, you know, race director Shane Coker reserves that right. He can hit the buttons on his admin box and throw a caution. And he may just well do that.
Yeah, I should note that a number of cars did have black flags cleared, so it could have just been a scoring error.
Most certainly could have. 19 laps to go here, 18 to go here at Kentucky. You're watching Alex Miller lead it. Craig Forsyth is second, not Craig Forsyth is third. Andrew Surowac, he's going to be fourth in the Gatorade Special. And Emily Walker, we do thank you very much for joining us here on the P1 Broadcasting, at P1 Broadcasting for the Horizon IndyCar Series race at Kentucky. But there's your man, Andrew. He is fourth. Jeff Hysong rounds out top five. And every time I see Hysong's car, it makes me hungry, Ryan. Little In-N-Out burger action, and then right behind him you've got Walter Macias. Macias started in the back of this deal, you know, and it's kind of fitting, right? You go to In-N-Out burger, get your belly full. You might want a cigarette, and Walter's got you covered in the Paul Tracy Vintage Midnight Cool Machine. He is sixth, and give a shout out to Joseph Morales. Joseph is seventh. Joseph had kind of a rough night last night in the Area 51 race. He's back here tonight. He's got that baby in the top 10. Great run for Joseph. Love to see it. What a great guy. Sam Cosner behind him in 8th. Brian Greenlee in 9th. And then there's the tires with Kyle Clinworth in 10th as we get ready to restart this race. 18 laps to go, coming to get 17. Andrew Miller,
Green.
one more time, is going to hit the button. He'll get it going, and immediately they go 3 wide back in the pack. The guys with tires are going to absolutely need to get going and get by the guys without. Josh Ward has made his way around Brian Greenlee. Clindy, he's going to throw it to the top and make it 3 wide. Greenlee in all sorts of trouble, surrounded by cars with fresh tires. Clinworth, he's going to get 2 for the price of 1. He'll go around Greenlee. He'll go around Ward. Move Kyle Clinworth to 9th. And here comes the charge with 16 laps to go. It's going to be Kyle Clinworth and Josh Ward on tires versus the field that does not have them.
Don't forget that last element that you just mentioned. 16 to go. Time is ticking.
Time is ticking, and Clindy is pulled right up behind the Votive Racing League machine of Sam Cosner. Now, remember, it was Cosner who was blinking a little bit earlier. He's still blinking just a little bit. Clinworth runs the fastest lap of the race in his wake. Cosner pulls it to the inside. I got to think that that's just a move to say, all right, Clindy, you go right on ahead. Clindy dials up the high line one more time. He'll move it around Cosner into 8th. Meanwhile, those other cars on fresh tires, they have not been able to keep up with Kyle Clinworth. He's got a little bit of ways to go, but he's going to have the draft. Time, though.
3 wide out front for the lead.
Yeah, well, and that's the reason we're watching it from Clindy's roll bar. You got a beautiful seat of Alex Miller on the bottom, not Craig Forsyth in the middle, and Craig Forsyth on the top. As we head towards 13 to go, Clindy, he's going to grab the bottom. He's got the draft. Which way is he going to go, and what's he going to do when he gets there, Ryan?
Oh, it is pretty much open season. Any move you can make for the lead, you'll take it. As we just saw Andrew Surawak, entry of 3, he tried to duck to the inside for the lead.
Yes, he did, and that's going to cost him a little bit of momentum. Meanwhile, Clinworth has gotten around Macias. He's gotten around Morales. They're going to go 4 wide for the lead. Clindy ducks between Morales and Highsong as Craig Forsyth and not Craig Forsyth get together for second. Surawak dodges that bullet, and here comes Clinworth. He's going to work to the inside of Surawak. He's got a huge run, but he's got nowhere to go. Meanwhile, as you look to the back of this pack, you can see Josh Ward and Frank Wynn. They're almost here. Clinworth knows he needs to get to the lead. You see that pink and blue machine back there? The cavalry's coming behind him. Clindy now to the top. He's got not Craig Forsyth in the middle. He's got Craig Forsyth on the bottom. He's got Andrew Surawak looking to make it 4 wide now.
It is elbows out, looking for anywhere to put your car.
Yeah, there's no, earlier we talked about give and take. Maybe you need to take foot off the gas, live to fight another day. There's if it was give and take earlier, it's all take now, Ryan. There's no more give.
Yeah, there are no more days left to live.
No, you're either gonna win this race or hanging on the fence as of now. There's nothing more to live for. Clindy's going to try to just jab it up the middle. He can't quite do it. On the roll bar of actual Craig Forsyth, staring at the back of not Craig Forsyth. That's Miller on the bottom, Clindy on the top. Forsyth is about 74 wide behind him. He's got the car, Josh Ward, that is iRacing forgave Ward there, put the front wing back on. Forsyth is in the middle. He's got Ward to the bottom. He had Surawak to the top. Frank Wynn is coming now.
Up 2 cars on the wall.
That is the car of not Craig Forsyth, missing a front wing. Server is blinking. We're just having all sorts of fun here, Ryan, with 6 laps to go. I got to draw attention that the wing is popped back on for Matt Wagner. Do we have, Ryan, do we have enough clean brown pants in the booth to last us for the next 5 laps?
I think we'll have to make 2.
We're going to have to call Sam Crow to bring us some more roll age. Josh Ward fires it up the inside. He makes it to 3rd. Still not Craig Forsyth in 2nd. Craig Forsyth is on the top. He's going to block the arrow for Clindy. Meanwhile, here comes Frank Wynn. Here comes Walter Macias back into the picture. The battle is for the lead, and there is a hornet's nest behind it. Oh boy, there was contact there. I don't know if it was net code Craig Forsyth. We saw the wing fly. He ran into the right rear of not Craig Forsyth and is forgiven. The front wing pops back on. We've got 3 laps to go. That is 4.5 miles, 4 miles now. Ryan, I don't know if I can hold my breath and talk for that long.
Yeah, because we're at the point where the next incident ends this thing.
The next incident does end it. Alex Miller and Matt Wagner, they are just about as dead even as you can make them. Leader that time is going to be Matt Wagner by a hot 0.009 seconds. Meanwhile, here comes Clindy on the bottom. Clindy is really in a spot because he knows that he's faster than the 2 players' cars above him. He also knows that he's got to find a way around him, and that's how he's going to have to do it. He's going to have to somehow separate him, and he did it by elbowing his way out, put Clindy back on the front line. The white flag is out. This is the final lap of the race. Miller to the bottom, Wagner to the top. Here comes Clindy to make it 3 wide. Here comes Craig Forsyth. Here comes Josh Ward. How wide can we make this go here?
Yeah, how wide are we going to make this front straight onto the apron?
It's going to be Alex Miller, Matt Wagner, Kyle Clinworth. The margin from first to third, 0.011 seconds. And I'm going to try to get this as close as I can. I'm going to try to get this as close as I can, Ryan, because I don't, and I don't often do this. We don't like to do this here at the P1 Broadcasting Network. But we're going to try to we're just going to go in full rewind mode, and we're going to see if we can't stop it on the moment.
So for the viewers at home, in the finish line design, is the blue line or the thick yellow line the official finish?
So I am of the understanding, Ryan, that it's the blue line.
Okay.
And that's about as close as I can stop it, brother.
Oh, while you can pick apart, while you can clearly tell that Miller's the leader, the call for second is a whole lot tighter.
Yeah, that's 0.003 seconds. Craig Forsyth and I had a race at Indianapolis between he and I that was decided by 0.0029 seconds, and that one's been deemed the closest live finish at Indianapolis in an Indy car. So 0.003 is, that's a landslide right there for second. But Alex Miller clearly is your winner. And there it is. We'll leave the winning picture up. It's Alex Miller by 0.008 seconds over Matt Wagner. Kyle Clinworth is third. He's a hot 11 thousandths of a second behind the leader. Josh Ward, Craig Forsyth, Frank Wynn are going to be your second 3. Hysong, Gallas, Macias, and Rick Sanchez. Good run for Rick. Round out your top 10. In 11th, Nick Wheeler, Will Stearns 12th. Great comeback for Will Stearns. Joseph Morales 13th. Great night for him. Sam Kaiser 14th. Ryan Greenlee will round out your top 15. Mason Mitchum, Gary Lovren, Lith Fox, Andrew Serwak, and Charles Hosea. They're going to run 16th through 20th. In 21st, Yari Rubiker, Eric Peterson. 23rd, Amet Ohm, Nate Fields 24th. Matthias Marcamini is 25th. And, of course, Shane Coker is in the tower. Coker is not being scored. And you know what we don't have, and I just noticed this, is interview cam. Ryan, do we have anybody in the waiting room?
Quick check. We have Clendy waiting for us.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and yank. Let's go ahead and get Clendy up here. Kyle Clinworth, you got Mark in the wreck, Ryan Eric King in the booth. How about you, brother? You bring it home third.
Hey. Just glad to put on a show, Murph. Did everything I could. Just came up, I don't know, an eighth of a nose cone too short. What a finish that was. I don't think you could get 3 cars any closer than that.
No, you don't. We were kind of wondering. We saw you come in and get the new tires, and certainly your fan club in the booth here, or in the chat. They were cheering on your acquisition of the new boots. Tell us though, kind of tell us, your thought process in getting those. Was it you thought you could win from there, and that was what was required, or was it one of those things where you thought, track position is king, but I'm just gonna try to get back to second or third or wherever? Kind of walk us through that process.
Yeah, so I had the oldest tires, and I was really tight on fuel anyway, or at least I would have been, map 1, in clean air. So I came in, put a half gallon in it, and bolted on new boots because I figured I wasn't going to win from 4th with the worst tires. I could maybe finish 3rd or 2nd. And I was like, if I'm going to win, I'm going to need to be able to go full push the whole way. I'm going to have new shoes. So I came on in, bolted them on, and every time I knew I could win if I got lane 2 going into turn 3, just from the line Alex was taking. He did a really good job stopping me from passing anyone on the bottom just from the line he was taking on entry. It was just low enough to where you'd have to really back it up and risk getting run over or chopped in the center. Like somebody would just drive it in on lane 2 or lane 3 and clear you before you can rotate and get out of the corner. So I just couldn't pass on the bottom, but I knew I could pass Alex if I got to his outside where Wags and Craig were, but I just bottled my one opportunity, and Josh Ward got there before me, so I had to rip the fence to get back to 2nd or 3rd or wherever, and just never had the opportunity to get the slingshot down the back and pinch Alex into 3 and beat him off turn 4 to the line. That was the game plan. I just wasn't ever able to get there, and so when we came to the white flag and Wags was right behind him, I'm like, okay, if Wags goes wide into turn 1, I have to go wider, then cut down and build a huge run for 3 and 4 and do it again at the line. I just came up just a little bit short. I mean, that's the hand I dealt. I qualified so poorly and executed on pit road poorly, and that's the price I pay, right? If I had done those things perfectly today, I would have won this race, but I didn't, and Alex did, and hats off to him. He drove a heck of a race. I know he beats himself up sometimes, but he shouldn't. He's an excellent race car driver. He belongs in this series, and I'm very happy to fight him for this title.
Very good. Ryan Eric King, what do you have for the loquacious Kyle Clinworth this evening?
Oh, I mean, pretty much
that means verbose.
How about chatty?
Most of it, but Kyle, what was your strategy heading into today? Because obviously we knew it was going to be a pack race coming in, and while we have so many races and miles at places like Michigan and Auto Club, this is a different breed of pack race.
Yeah, it is, because even with new tires in the pack, you've got to lift for turn 3. I mean, maybe if you get totally clean air on the top and you dial in 5-8 points of weight jacker or something like that, you can. I mean, that's what I did to rip the fence there at the end with light fuel and newish tires, right? You can go wide open, but you're going so much further, it's slower. At the very beginning of the race, it was a fuel save in order to cut a stop from the scheduled distance with the shortened or the minimized fuel tanks. So I just kind of ran the first stint, map 3, map 5, chilling. And then as soon as that lap 5 caution happened or whatever, I knew I could come in and top off. And then that kind of deleted the save because instead of being like a 43 40 or a 45, 45, 45. It was like a 42, 42, 43, which is like way easier than triple 45s. So that was my strategy there. And then the yellows just didn't fall quite right. And when Alex didn't pit on that third to last yellow, I was like, if this goes green, that dude's roasted, and I got this in the bag because I knew I could save the number from there. But I was really giddy that I faked him out coming to pit road, but it ultimately didn't matter. But, it's the little things that you get excited about.
Yeah, completely understandable.
Well, I tell you what, Kyle, we're excited to see you back on the podium. It's exciting to see you going fast and having fun. You've had a pair of thirds in the last couple of days, and so once again, the floor is yours. And before you do your shout outs, I got to ask, how hard was it to tell apart Craig Forsyth and not Craig Forsyth?
It was impossible, dude. I had no idea when it was Wags or when it was Craig. The only way I knew is if I had my relative up as like my black box, because Race Labs is really terrible and doesn't update as often as I would like it to. So, and they were running side by side that whole last stint. So I just treated them both like they were a hybrid. It was kind of like Schrodinger's 4 Wags, and I didn't know who was who. So yeah, I just, I had to pretend that they were both each other at all times. And, a couple of times I think Craig put some moves on me that I expect Wagner to do, and sometimes Wagner did some stuff that I thought Craig would do. So maybe they're not as dissimilar as I had thought before today. But yeah, sponsors and stuff, and I'll get out of your hair so you can talk to Wags, the series owner and second place, and then our very deserving winner. I have to talk about the Votive Racing League. They pay real American dollars to be on my car, and I'd like to invite you all to join the Discord to race in Votive. It's free on Sunday nights at 8:30 Eastern Time.
Now, why is it I got
here on P1?
Now, why is it I got
ahead.
paid in pesos? Do I see Shane Coker
Well,
about that? Or was that just a
Yeah,
me thing?
you could probably talk to Shane, but I mean, I offer coaching in the series, and that's why I get paid, and I also shout him out every time I finish third, which has been a lot recently. I just replace all of the E's in my name with 3s, and it'll be the same thing.
There you go.
Shout outs to all my fans in chat. It was so good to see you guys cheering me on. I employed the Rick Ravon strategy today because he asked me to before the race. So when I bolted on those new boots, I was thinking of Rick and thinking, what would Rick do? And, I just put it to the pedal of the metal and hope it stuck, and it did. So just came up a little short. So Suckerman Farms, of course, and all my teammates at Rogue Racing. And other than that, I'll get out of your hair, Murph. Thanks so much for the broadcast.
Yeah, good show tonight, Clindy. We will see you, what? Golly,
Sunday for Votive.
Sunday for Votive.
Unless they're... Yep. And then Monday for the Open.
Well, you won't have to worry about me hitting you Sunday because I'll be in the Indy Elite race Sunday night. So you'll have a Murph-free and hopefully caution-free run.
Murphy's Law won't apply because he's not on the racing surface. Sounds
right.
good.
That's right. We will see you Monday night, Clindy. We'll get you out of here. It's going to be the second place finisher, Matt Wagner, next up in the P1 broadcasting booth. And not Craig Forsyth. You had a pretty good run there. Clindy was having a hard time telling you two apart, brother.
Yeah, man. I actually had a blast. That was like the most fun I've had in quite some time there. I'm sure Alex is kind of like shaking his boots right now, but oh no, it was a good race.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. So you employed the alternate strategy. You stayed out on the old tires. Was tire wear a factor for you, or was it more about track position and confusing everybody by having them think you were Craig or Craig was you?
Late in the run, I think people were starting to feel it.
Yeah,
I was watching everybody was. It was starting to get a little bit more spread out. And then me back there saving my tires. I love them type of races where you guys save tires, so that played in the factor. And once we did all that, I started turning off some lap times by myself and with Mason Mitchum behind me. I was gaining time, which was great. And then me and my piss poor pit entry, it kind of countered it, and somehow I hang on to the lead draft and got up toward the front. And I saw my other self up there, Craig Forsyth, and well, Murphy, as you always say, do what Craig Forsyth does sometimes with fuel. He's like pretty much the smartest guy in the field for that.
Yeah.
So I was pretty much trying to mimic what would he do.
Oh, I've
So-
said it before. They asked me, well, why'd you make that strategy call? Well, I was just following Forsyth, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's not a bad strategy. And you took it one step further. You painted your car like Craig Forsyth. Ryan, what do you have? What do you have? Well, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, right? Ryan, what do you have for second place Matt Wagner this evening?
Well, Wags, what was your line of thinking for that finish there? Because obviously, you unfortunately you didn't get the win tonight, but you still got second place by 0.003 of a second.
Yeah, that's all good. Well, my strategy was, as you saw, with about, I think it was 2 to 3 to go. I think I had a half a car in him, so I tried to apply the same things I did on the last lap. It almost worked to perfection. I did have like a quarter of a car on him going into 3, and it just didn't work out. I think I think who was on my outside to my right. I think that was Clendy. If Clendy wasn't way to my right, kind of pitched me to my right, I say if I had a little bit more turn in from my right to my left, maybe would have got that win. But heck, man, it is what it is. I'm happy for for Alex there. He was down on himself last week, so this is a big, as you would say, get the monkey off his back. And I think that's his second win of the season for him. Congratulations to him. That and Kyle. It was fun racing all them, Craig, Josh, them. And I love it.
Yeah, man. Well, we love seeing you going fast and having fun, brother. You finished second. The mic is yours. Friends, family, shout-outs. You're on, my friend.
All right. I'd like to thank everybody who joined this race tonight. Without you, there is no racing, period. Shout out to, even though some of you guys had a bad day, there's always next week. I know you guys are tired of me saying that, but it's the God honest truth. If you guys are out there, if you are interested in coming over here to race in the Horizon IndyCar Series, so I am working on a second season as we speak. I probably will make that announcement probably about 2 weeks from tonight.
And we know you love a good
Stay
announcement.
tuned for that. Oh, God. Just so I'll throw it to you. I'll let you do it.
No,
That's
we
what
want to
we
hear
pay
it straight
you
from
guys.
we want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, Wags. But congratulations on your win, or on your second place rather. You've been running good recently. You had a good run last night in Area 51. You're only 77 points down in that series. So what's your your strategy to overtake the series leader on Monday nights?
You mean Tuesday nights? Well,
Tuesday
if
nights.
you would so if you would wish upon bad luck on Mr. Murph, the broadcaster here, he would well, actually it'll take a miracle to beat Murph. So he's a very good, smart, as you would say, point racer, as you would say.
I just followed.
But hey, hear me.
I just followed Craig Forsyth.
I tried doing that once. It got me second. I tried to do it another time. I ended up crashing out. So what does that tell you?
Well, you weren't following Craig because he never crashes. But Maddie, always a pleasure to talk to you. You and I'll chat soon. And keep going fast and having fun, brother.
Yes, sir. Y'all take it easy. Have a great night.
Yep. That is Matt Wagner. He's going to finish second tonight in the main of the hour. That is Alex Miller. And Alex, you're going to get the win. You're going to get the win tonight. Talk to us about your run. You were up front for pretty much the entire evening. You had to earn it though. Those guys were all over you at the end.
Yeah, it was kind of just, honestly, it was very similar. I know you at P1 have been broadcasting the fixed races the last 2 weeks. It was very similar to those. a cold track, so it was very packy the entire time. Not really much. There in clean air, I was barely getting any tire where I think at most of the stops my right front was still at like 90. So not much tire wear, so you kind of just had to hold the bottom and win. I was talking with Clendy that I actually did a bunch of like practice qualifying runs earlier because I know qualifying is sometimes my weak point. So I was practicing qualifying today because I was like, I think qualifying is going to be important in this race if it's going to play out how I think it is with the track temp, and it did. So me getting the pole there definitely helped for that first bit of the race, especially with all the cautions that kind of just kept me in the lead. And then I made a kind of bad strategy call from the lead staying out when everyone decided not to do that behind me. But I thankfully got saved with a caution, and with when that came out, I could actually make it to the end on one stop way easier than everyone else could, at least the people who pit before me. So I was able to push a lot harder, which basically got all the time back that I got from being in the back of the pack there. And then Matt, Clendy, and Forsyth, even though, I couldn't tell in my mirror which one was which because Matt and Forsyth decided to run the damn paint scheme tonight. That was fun. But everyone tried, but really in the end, the bottom line was just too powerful in this race, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Ryan, what do you have for Mr. Miller this evening?
Yeah, how difficult was it to maintain the lead for all those laps at the end? You were in the catbird seat, so to speak, and at a lot of other places like Michigan and Auto Club, it's generally the line to take is at the bottom, but it can be hard to stay at the bottom, especially around 3 and 4 around here.
Yeah, I kind of was just really focusing in there, lifting a little bit on entry into 3 because I knew you had to do that even in clean air, really. And just kind of in the early part of the race, I kind of found a point where I was turning in, and it's like, okay, I think I can maintain the lead there with the way I'm arcing it in. So I just really focused on hitting that while trying to give everyone give as much room as possible because I didn't want to see any sort of big one affecting the battle for the win. And yeah, I just focused up, and I focused up, and that was that.
Well, there you go. Focus up. Indeed, you did. And now, because you have won the race, you know the drill, my friend. Friends, family, sponsors, shout-outs, anybody that you'd like to mention, the microphone is yours.
So yeah, as always, thank you to TMR and really just everyone on that team lately. It's been kind of a down couple weeks for me in terms of racing results, and I've been a little down about it. And they've always been like, "Dude, you're not bad. Shut up. You're good," and talking me out of it. And clearly, it helped going into this race tonight because now I'm on the top of the podium. Thank you to Clendy, actually. Clendy's been very awesome giving some advice with his videos there on P1 with the guides each week. That's the word. I don't know why I forgot the word guide existed for a second there. But yeah, he's been very helpful because sometimes I just hit him up in DMs and he helps with the advice. And yeah, thanks to TMR, P1 for the broadcasts, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, well, once again, congratulations on your win. And we do appreciate you, Alex. Keep going fast, having fun, brother, and we are going to see you at the next one.
Yeah, I like Iowa, so hopefully maybe you'll see me again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you need help at Iowa, I think that Clendy guy's pretty quick there, too.
Yeah, I think I seem to know that.
All right, get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, my man.
Yeah.
That's going to be Alex Miller. He is going to be your winner this evening. Ryan, we had another just knockdown, drag-out, entertaining affair here in the Horizon IndyCar Series, and that does lead us to the end. So we are off next week, Ryan. You and I get a Wednesday night break. On April 8th, we're going to be at the Iowa Speedway. That's going to be followed by Old Atlanta. They're going to take a week. They're going to take a week off. And then on April 30th, they're going to hit the Nashville Superspeedway, the finale, 100 laps at Indianapolis on May the 7th. As Matty Wag said, they are working on a second season here in the Horizon IndyCar Series, and so we do look forward to allowing Matt to make that announcement because, Ryan, if you've ever raced with Matt, he's the king of announcements, is he not?
Oh, he definitely is.
He most certainly is. And speaking of announcements, we've got a full slate here on the P1 Broadcasting Network. While the Formula Indy Series continues over on the sister channel, I do want to let you know that tomorrow night, Sam Crow and I will have the AMA Black Magic Studios Grand National Series, 8:20 p.m. from Martinsville. And on Friday, the AMA Industrial Truck Series. That's going to happen at the same time, the same bad channel, same bad announcers even, 8:20. You'll get to see the likes of Ryan O'Donohue and others do battle at the paperclip in the paperclip in the trucks. Saturday, Gary and the gang are going to be over on the Velocity Online Racing Network. They're going to take care of the VOR race. That's going to happen at 3:30 Eastern. Sunday night, we'll have the Votive IndyCar Oval Series race from New Hampshire. That's at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard. And then that brings us right back to our regularly scheduled programming. Monday night, you'll have Clindy and I live at 8 o'clock for the IndyCar Monday Night Open Top Split. That's going to be from Phoenix. And Tuesday, we'll have the IndyCar Oval Series from Gateway. No race Wednesday, so that'll put us right back into the AMA stuff on Thursday and Friday. Ryan, we got a lot of races going on here, brother.
A whole lot of them.
We do, and every time we do this, we do want to thank all the people that make it possible. Not only the drivers, the competitors, the league owners, the fans, the chat. The chat engagement has been amazing. We do thank you for that. If you have not already done so and you're still here, please grab the like button on the video, smash the bell, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 900, and when we get to 900, we can start counting backward to 1,000, and 1,000 is the goal before we hit the iRacing Indy 500 in the first week of May, the second week of May, and so do help us out with that. For Ryan Eric King, our founder Gary Godso, we do also want to thank everybody who does the hard work at night so that we can lay our pillows down safe, and those that run into trouble so that we don't have to. The first responders, the military, the firefighters, the police, the EMS, all of them, we do thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Ryan, I need to go.
Well, I need some oxygen after that one.
That's right. I'm going to go get Sam Crow to get me some more Rolaids. We will see you in 2 weeks.